Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are in the off season. We wrapped up our third season. We ended up being number 20 in the nation at 11-3 record. The end of the season, we beat LSU to get into the conference championship, to play LSU in the conference championship. Ended up losing that conference championship, made it to the Bahamas Bowl where we took on Auburn, the number 18th ranked team, and ended up beating them. So a really good season for the third season here of Coach PJ O'Connell and his staff. We're going to lose a lot of seniors here. We'll jump through draft results and things like that. But you saw in the last episode, the guys we were losing, Abraham and Diller go in the first round, which was unlocked talent developer for us, which is huge because there's some things in there that I want to be able to get. Kasim Gregg goes third round. Campanaro goes fourth round. Derek Sisk goes in the fourth. Bickerstaff in the fifth. If you saw last episode, he was predicted to not get drafted. So good to see him go in the fifth round. Vasquez goes in the fifth, and Coppin, I think he was predicted to not get drafted as well. And he goes in the seventh. So 8 guys drafted. Really good senior class for us. They're going to leave some pretty big holes. Abraham, Bickerstaff, I don't know if we're going to be able to fill their spots with anybody who gets close to 89. We got a lot of good returning redshirt sophomore guys, but they got to take big jumps, and we're not in charge of developing them. So we are at the mercy of the CPU to develop those guys, and hopefully they can develop well. So we lost 12 seniors. We're going to end up encouraging 6 guys to transfer. Hopefully you saw that episode. If not, it's a few back where we go through the guys who decided not to stay here and transfer out. And that opened up 6 spots. So we have 18 total. You can see our recruiting class here. We went over their dev traits in the last episode, but 12 guys, 13 guys actually now that we signed. Brewer, a 1-star middle linebacker. But really pleased with the class so far. We've got 4 more spots to fill. So as we go to the transfer portal, I'm thinking it'd be great to have another defensive tackle. So there's Minor. He would be a senior. And if we click, see our needs at D tackle, we've got Bavaro, who's going to be a junior. And then Small and Laporta have to take big jumps. Sanders isn't coming back. We signed Busby. So I think Minor could be a good addition. So we're going to add him to the board. Then I think we need a lineman who's going to be a junior or a senior. We got a lot of, redshirt sophomores coming back. 4 stars are, I already looked through this. There's not many 4 stars that we can get. We're just not a good enough team. Eric Gaddis is going to be a sophomore. I don't want that. It just kind of clouds that sophomore class. But Terrence Redmond would come in, be a junior. I think that would add depth to our offensive line. He could be a starter, although, as a 3-star junior here, I don't know what he's going to come in at. Plus, they don't train in the offseason, so we're going to have to manually progress him ourselves. But I think offensive guard would be a good one. So we got 2 spots left. As I look through, who's interested, we got these 2 4-star transfers, middle linebackers that I'm tempted to get. I just don't think we need them. Again, we look at middle linebacker. We're set here. We've got 5 total. We got 5 freshmen, though. We'll have Ware, Shermer, and Redmond. Goda and Manuel will be out. We got Brewer in, so that's 3. But I think Ware is going to be fantastic. I think Shermer is going to be good. We got Vernon coming in, so I think we're good there. Outside linebacker, Jasmine's going to be a stud. Grimes is leaving. We got Bowenko and Dingle coming in. And then at left, we got Young and Grimm. So I think we're set at linebacker. I don't feel a need, to pull the trigger on those transfers here. One would be a junior, one would be a senior. So again, we got 2 spots left. Wide receiver, I think we're good. QB, I'm feeling good with what we have. Scherer showed that he can play when he got actual playing time in our bowl game. If you didn't see his game, go back and watch that episode. He played really well. He's going to be a senior for us. Singh is going to be a junior. You got Alex Jolly. We got Jason Trail. The one who I'm not sure of now is Amerson. I think with Scherer probably getting more playing time, Trail is going to develop. I just don't see Amerson getting much playing time. Maybe we look at switching him to corner. If we encourage him to transfer, then we've got another spot. So then we'd have 3 more spots left. And I know there's some athletes in the high school class that I'm really excited about. So we're bringing Trail in. I like him as a QB. But if we take a look, I think at Ivory, let's scout him. I mean, we don't need all these points anyways. He comes in at 6'3", 195, 92 speed, 91 excel. Maybe somebody that could play defensive back. I don't think we'd use CJ Ivory as a QB. We got Jason Trail. Jason has the field general platinum level, so I don't want to move him away from QB. But Ivory, with 92 speed, 91 excel, and that size, could be a defensive back, could be a wide receiver, could be a running back. Although with where our depth chart is now, he would probably be a defensive back, and I'm just not sure that we need them. So we'll have him on our board. We'll go through a couple other guys here. But the issue is, the other guy I'm really excited about is Caesar Gizzy. He's another scrambler. And as we scout him, I mean, 90 speed, 95 excel. So I'm tempted to just get two really good athletes, but they move into the defensive backfield, which is crowded. I feel like, we've got 7 there. We got a freshman coming in, a 1-star. We got Denson to still develop. We got those 4, who are going to be redshirt sophomores. Free safety, we got Hernandez and Sparks. I mean, I guess we got Mandarino signed, so free safety, we're looking good. Strong safety, Wilkins could maybe move somewhere. He's 6'5", 201. Newcomb is there. Franco looks solid. Right now, we've got 2 redshirt sophomores and a freshman. And then the other guy I'm really excited about here, let's see, another athlete. I love getting the athletes. Is Max Carter, 6'2", 286. And he could play center, he could play anywhere on the offensive line, but probably interior, or he can move to D tackle or D end, possibly even tight end. I think his speed is good enough. 76, not bad for a blocking tight end. So at 19, assuming we cut Amerson because he doesn't have a fit now that Sherry really has a bigger role, and Trail is coming up behind him as far as, dual threat goes. But Minor, I think we've got to solidify that interior. Redmond, I think, just gives us an upperclassman on the offensive line. Although, let's see, center. So center, we'll have Sweet, we'll have Doc, Vallejo. We could move one of those guys, actually. And we got Lambo's in big cut. So I think, actually, Redmond is off. Let's remove Redmond. So we got one more spot left. If we go transfer portal, we look at this best available. We've got a receiving back here who could come in. He's the number 3 ranked player in the nation. Penn State, Texas State after him. He's already in his top 5. We're number 1. And if we look at our running backs, we've got to replace Bickerstaff, Abraham. And I don't think, Boone, if he jumps up 4, he's 81. Chuck Wu, if he jumps up, they're low 80s. And I think if we get Little, he'll be a junior, so he'll be mid-80s. Right? He's coming from Michigan, so he's going to be pretty good. I think it's this guy. I went in thinking it might be a middle linebacker. And actually, I don't think we need both Gizzy and Ivory. Ivory, I think, with his size, is a little more exciting. But Gizzy has acceleration. I mean, Gizzy's a better passer. The thing I hate to see is that Gizzy might not get signed anywhere. Because, again, what are we playing? It's going to be the defensive backfield. I mean, our wide receiver room, we're stacked. We got 10. We got 6 freshmen, 3 sophomores, redshirt sophomores. So I just don't know that we need a wide receiver. He could be a halfback, but again, we're bringing in Economos. Otherwise, cornerback, we do need a safety. I think he could be a safety. And if we're going to go safety, I think I want to go with Ivory. All right, 19. So I just don't. Ivory and Gizzy are kind of the same. I don't know that we need both of them. And if we can go after a middle linebacker, if we can go after a Van Dyke, a Van Dyke, a BC. I mean, Coney would be sweet. Oh, no, not Coney. Don't need a corner. Peppers would be a junior. You get the battle with Penn State and Notre Dame, though. Let's do this. Let's go after Van Dyke. I'm going to remove Gizzy. We can come back and get him if, Van Dyke or Little or any other transfers don't work. Okay, so we got Minor. Let's scout him. An 82 strength isn't great. Numbers aren't great. It's going to be a senior as well. but I think he's the best option. And we need somebody besides just Bavaro. Ivory, Carter, and then Little. Let's see what you've got. He's a receiving back, 91 speed. I think he's going to be good. And Van Dyke, 85 speed. Okay. So let's offer these guys. Let's get 50 into all of them. So Minor, we're battling. I think we got a good pipeline. Utah's going to be going after him. Ivory, we're number 9, but nobody else has an offer on him. Max Carter, I think we can jump. Nobody's got him. Little, we're number 1. He's in the top 5. Penn State, Oklahoma, Ohio State could be a battle. And then Van Dyke, I think, it's going to be tough enough a pipeline on him. But let's go. And honestly, I'm just going to get Gizzy back on with no scholarship. And we'll see how that goes. All right, so week 1, we're good. Let's advance on. I feel good about the guys we've got. I think D-tackle was big. Running back was big. I thought maybe O-line, but I think we can move a center to get that. So we do have to battle Houston for Minor. Ivory, we jump to 1. Let's see the other guys. So Minor, this is going to be Houston. You don't get bonuses for combining visits like 26. So we got to remember that. Playing style deal breaker. So it could be it's game time. Could be time to get to work. Ivory, we're good. Carter, good. Okay, Little. Nobody has a pipeline. Oklahoma is there, though. Championship contender and pro potential. Football influencer. Sunday bound. Van Dyke, Penn State's probably gonna get him. I don't know if I want to waste my time with him. Let's see. Does anybody else open up their transfer portal for us? Everybody's in the top 5. Coney. Okay, 3 stars. Anybody jump open? No, nothing. So I'm not going to remove Van Dyke. I think we're just going to see what we can get here. Pro potential, conference prestige. Sunday bound. I think we got to get a week 3 visit in. Pro potential. And Gizzy, we're there. We'll get him a scholarship because I don't think we'll move to sign him anytime soon. Javier Little. We're going to get a week 3. Championship contender. Pro potential, I feel like might fluctuate. I can't remember though. And Carter, we're good. Ivory, good. And then Sergio Minor. We'll go week 3. Playing style. So week 2, we're looking good. Let's just see class-wise. Do we have any? There's Minor. We're after him. QB, we don't need. Tight end, we don't need. Sands, the sophomore. We don't need a cornerback to flip people after him. Yeah. Okay, so I think our recruiting board is set. I'm not going to keep digging into it. I feel good. If we miss out on Van Dyke, we've got at least a really good athlete to fill his spot. And our recruiting class is basically full. Like these guys are just bonuses here. So we'll jump to week 3. Okay, so Minor. Houston's just really pulling ahead. Did we not gain anything? So Minor. Okay, so we got a week 3. Oh, man. Okay, so we're visiting this week, though. We've got a really good hard sell. Looking good on these freshmen. Nice. Javier Little, we're pulling ahead. He's Sunday bound, and he's got a visit. Although I don't know what the visit does here. Whoops. Again, a good hard sell here. You got a lot of A's in there. At Dyke, we're coming to week 3. I just don't know. We got a good hard sell, but and then Caesar Gizzy, we're in first. So we'll see. I think Van Dyke will know this week, and Minor will know this week. Let's see if we have to adjust anything. Moment of truth. We got Javier Little. Oh, well, he took a big jump. And we lost Minor and Van Dyke. Dang it. Minor would have been a great one for us to get. D-tackle. Okay, so now week 4. I think I jumped down to 2 stars in the portal and see what we can get. So let's go D-tackle. Nothing. Middle linebacker. Not that we need one. I think I was just going off the 4 stars. Van Dyke would have been great to get, and Minor had a week 6 visit somehow. Do we have any JUCO guys? D-end? 2-star. D-tackle? No. Brown was somebody after Hank. No, we're not even in it. So let's see if we can find another athlete. But now that I think about it, I need it to be an upperclassman. There's just not a lot of options for what we really need. And I hate to not fill up this class. I mean, we could not cut Amerson, it would be fine. I mean, we got a lot of like, halfback, room kicker, free safety, agile center. All right, found Dom Knopf here. We'll scout him. But the problem is, at the physical athlete wide receiver, he's got 92 speed. He's got platinum winning time. Yeah, again, he just transfers to running back, receiver, tight end, defensive back, and we've got those things filled up. And he's a freshman. We'll take him off the board. I'm not sold on that. Folk is a possession tight end, 2-star. Boy, I think we just leave it as is. We got Little. Probably should have went after both 4-star linebackers right away. All right, that's it. We're moving on. Don't want to spend so much time here. I mean, I could spend hours trying to figure out the perfect guy there. But we're gonna move on from week 4 here. It was nice to get that running back. The D tackle I felt like a necessity. We missed that. Middle linebacker would have been a bonus. So D tackle wise, we need some guys to train well. But again, really good recruiting class. Again, Mandarino impact, Garrison impact, Brewer impact, Anthrop impact, Darling star, Trail impact, Economos impact, Cox impact, Busby impact, Busby elite, Dingle, Pawanko impact, Vernon impact, Ringo star, Ivory is impact, Carter is impact, Javier Little is star. That's huge. And then Caesar Gizzi is impact as well. So a lot of impact. Javier Little being a star is really huge for us. And actually, let's dive in to Javier Little and how he came to sign with UTSA over other programs.
The summer before his sophomore year at Michigan, Javier Little drove 6 hours to a 5-day residential running back camp in Columbus. It wasn't a combine showcase or a draft prep event. It was a smaller, technical program, position fundamentals, film again, and one-on-one coaching from a former pro who'd spent 12 years in the league before retiring to do this. The kind of camp where the players who show up aren't there to be seen. They're there to work. He didn't know who Ezekiel Abraham and Rich Bickerstaff were when he arrived. By the end of day 2, he knew he wanted to understand how they'd become who they were. It wasn't their footwork. It wasn't their burst through the hole or the way they caught the ball out of the backfield, though all of that was evident. What stopped Javier was something harder to name. At every program-style camp, there's a hierarchy. The guys who came from bigger programs, who had more carries, more tape, more visibility, they tend to hold a kind of invisible social authority. Players position themselves around that. Some guys make sure you know where they're from. Some guys give feedback that's really just a way of establishing that they know more than you. Zeke and Bick didn't do any of that. When a younger player in their group was struggling with his cut angle off-zone blocking, Zeke stopped his own rep, walked over, and got into his stance beside him. Not to demonstrate, to think through it out loud together. What are you seeing at the mesh point? What's the guard giving you? When the kid figured it out and hit the cut clean on the next rep, Zeke just nodded and went back to his spot. No performance about it. Bick was the same way, technically precise in his coaching during group sessions, but never in a way that was about him. When he gave feedback, it had a specific quality Javier would later try to articulate to his mother. It was honest without being mean, like he respected you enough to tell you the truth and trusted you enough to do something with it. Javier had been around a lot of good football players. He hadn't been around many who operated like this. The conversation after. On day 4, after the afternoon session, Javier found himself at a table in the facility cafeteria near Zeke and Bick. He almost let the moment pass. They were clearly close, talking between themselves. But something made him sit down. He asked them one question, roughly. Something like, "Where does that come from? The way you guys carry yourselves in there?" What followed lasted almost an hour. They talked about UTSA, about Coach O'Connell specifically, not in a promotional way, not like they were selling anything. more like men trying to accurately describe an experience that had shaped them. Zeke talked about the first time he really understood what we don't just develop football players. We develop people who excel at football actually meant in practice. That it wasn't a slogan, that it showed up in how they were coached on and off the field, the way mistakes were handled, the way feedback was delivered, the way veterans were expected to treat younger players in the building. Bick talked about what he'd expected college football to be and how it had been different at UTSA. Not easier, harder in some ways, because the standard was always about who you were becoming, not just what your stats said. You can't hide behind your production there, he said. Coach O'Connell sees the whole person. So does the staff. That's uncomfortable until you realize it's actually what gets you ready. Ready for what? Javier asked. Bick didn't say the NFL. He said, for whatever comes after. The NFL is one version of that. But it's about being the kind of person who can handle the next thing, whatever it is. That landed in a particular way. Javier also asked about winning. He couldn't help it. It was the thing that always surfaced when he thought about his college career with any honesty. He wanted to compete for something, not just play well inside a season that didn't matter in December. Zeke's answer was direct. We went after LSU. We weren't hoping to sneak into a bowl game. That program is being built to compete, and you can feel it in how every single thing is run. Javier filed that away. He wasn't sure yet what he was going to do about any of it, but he didn't forget. Javier Little knew he could play at the next level. Michigan had confirmed the athletic profile was real. What Michigan hadn't been able to give him, through no particular fault of theirs, was either of the things he'd been thinking about since Columbus. Michigan was a legitimate program with legitimate people. The culture in the running back room was competitive in a way that was useful for development, but not particularly generative. Players pushed each other up to a point, but they were also protecting their own oxygen supply. That's normal. That's what scarcity does to people. What Javier had seen in Zeke and Bick, the security to help someone else without feeling like it cost you anything, the confidence to give credit without it diminishing you, he now understood, was a product of something deliberate, something grown inside a specific program under a specific coaching staff. But it was also a product of men who believed the program they were part of was going somewhere. That confidence wasn't separate from the championship ambition. It was downstream from it. He didn't enter the portal primarily because of the carries, or the depth chart, or even the culture. He entered it because he needed both things, a program building towards something real and an environment that developed the whole person, and he hadn't found them in the same place yet. When Roadrunners running backs coach, Raymond Davis, first reached out, Javier was already paying attention. He'd watched UTSA's season, really watched it, not just the highlight clips. The LSU upset wasn't a fluke. It was a program playing with structural confidence, making second-half adjustments against an elite defense, winning a game it had no business winning on paper and every business winning on preparation. The Bahamas Bowl comeback told a similar story. Down in the fourth quarter, backup quarterback, and they still found a way. That's not a program stumbling into results. That's a program that knows how to compete when it matters. That was enough for Javier to take the call with O'Connell seriously. When they connected, O'Connell didn't open with development metrics or a draft projection. He opened with something that sounded like it had been said exactly this way before, because it had been. Championships matter to us. I want to be clear about that up front. We're not one of those programs that pretends winning isn't the point. It is. We're deliberately building a program that puts us in position to win championships, conference and beyond. He went on. We're not hoping to accidentally fall into contention. We're methodically building toward it. Every scheduling decision, every conference positioning choice, every development investment. It's constructed with clear championship pathways in mind. And I think you've seen enough of our recent results to know that's not just a pitch. Javier had. The Creole Plains Conference was one of the most competitive in the country. UTSA was building a real case inside it, not just surviving. But then O'Connell shifted, and what came next was the part that picked up where the Columbus cafeteria had left off. He talked about how championships are built in the moments nobody posts on social media, in the film sessions that run long, in the hard conversations about accountability, in the way veterans treat younger players during a Wednesday practice in October when nobody important is watching. We believe emotional intelligence and physical preparation are developed together. One without the other doesn't hold up in December. And then, because Javier had asked about Zeke and Bick on a prior call with Davis, O'Connell addressed it directly. The NFL doesn't draft athletes. It drafts professionals who can handle everything that comes alongside the physical demands. Our job is to develop people who excel at football, and the way those two men carried themselves at that camp in Columbus. That's what this program is trying to grow in everyone who comes through here. Javier asked him directly, how much of who they became is them, and how much is you? O'Connell didn't take credit. He said, they brought who they were. We built an environment that didn't ask them to leave it at the door. That was the answer. What this means for the program. Coach O'Connell found out about the Columbus camp conversation secondhand. Zeke mentioned it casually during a call after the draft, weeks after it happened. He had no idea that Javier Little would end up in the portal, let alone that a cafeteria table in Columbus would be part of why he signed with UTSA. When Davis told him how central that encounter had been to Javier's decision, O'Connell was quiet. Then he said, what he always says when the culture produces something beyond what the coaching staff directly created. That's Zeke, that's Bick, that's theirs. And now both of them are gone. Zeke off the board in the first round, Bick in the 5th, which means they'll never share a backfield with Javier Little. But they already did something more durable than that. They established what a UTSA running back is. Not just in terms of production, not just in terms of technique, but in terms of how a person carries themselves when the work is done, and there's nothing left to prove in the moment, except who you actually are. Javier Little isn't here because UTSA outpitched Oklahoma. He's here because he came looking for a program building towards something real. And because two men who used to play here already showed him, without knowing they were showing him, what this place grows in people. The championship is the goal. The person is the method. He understood both.
Top classes, there's Georgia. LSU got number 2. There's Auburn. North Texas is up at 43. I was guessing we'd be around 75. There it is, 72. They won 4-star, 11 3-stars, 4 2-stars, and 2 1-stars. So really good classes. Check out conference-wise. LSU is 1, Texas A&M 2, Houston. So we're not ever going to be, I think, in the top of the recruiting classes anymore, just because we're getting just absolute need and nothing else, and then we're developing guys. So we're not going to be LSU, Texas A&M. We're not going to be any of these teams for the most part. Texas Tech had a rough class. UL Monroe, Louisiana Tech signed 8. That's like, I think recruiting needs to be fixed here because there's so many guys that go unrecruited. Like, if I didn't go after Gizzy, right, and nobody recruits him, and we can probably actually see, let's see 3-star, and let's just see guys that didn't signing where, like, look at all these 3-stars. So the game, hopefully 27 fixes that because I know 26 didn't really either. But like LA Tech would take any of these QBs, any of them, and they're just going on side. But some of them do get put onto teams. I've noticed as I was diving into, comparing QBs, I did notice that some of these guys have 0 offers. They do end up on a team. Because as I made my chart, I remember thinking, nobody offered them, they didn't sign anywhere, and they ended up on a team. So it does happen. I just don't think not all of them end up on a team like they should. All right, now time for my favorite part, position changes. You got 6 athletes. Caesar Gizzy, remember he's coming at 73 overall. as a QB. This is nuts. So QB-wise, let's go to it again. Jason Terrell's coming at 71, but he has field general at Platten, so he's going to be the QB. Gizzy at 73. He could go, I thought he would be better at in corner. He's man-to-man. Free safety is a hybrid, which we need. Receiving back at 6 feet. Let's see who else we've got. Max Carter comes in at 58. D-tackle, speed rusher. So we'd have 2 speed rushers in this class, which I don't know that I like. Left end could be a speed rusher, could be a guard. Then we would have 2 guards in this class, which might not be that bad. Yeah, let's go right guard. Jason Trail going to QB. So I thought he would be, really high at 60s and low 70s. He got to 71. Bobby Vernon. This is a guy I think we could move to strong safety. At 71. He'd be a run support guy, though, which I don't like. But, we can finagle, I think, some of that. I like him at strong safety. We got a lot of guys in the middle. So we'll put him there for now. Economos is going to running back. Could be a fullback. Oh, he could be a safety. But I like him at running back. And then Chris Ivory or CJ Ivory could be a running back for wide receiver. Wow. Could be a QB even. And then he's not a defensive guy. But 6'3" at running back I don't like. I could put Economos in the backfield, defensive backfield. Let's see. It's a hybrid. Shoot. I think that's it. But, I like him as an elusive back. 6'3", too tall for a running back for CJ. I think we got to put them at their best position. So, Economos going to safety. Ivory's going to go to running back. And then Gizzy, if I put him at outside linebacker, he doesn't develop. Could just be a holding place for him. We got Bobby Vernon at strong safety. We moved Economos here to free safety. But I like him as a strong safety. Just that his best is 73. And even like wide receiver, I'm tempted to just put him at QB. Could be wide receiver. We'll have 2 deep threats. He could be like a gadget guy. Let's do that. Let's put him on wide receiver. He can throw. He's elusive. We're going to have 10. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so QB. Boom, we got Cher, who may push Sing for starting time here. Jolly. Hamerson might be cut regardless. Ivory looks good here. Fullback is Peterson. Wide receiver, we're stacked. Fleming's a senior, Tinker, and Toner. Milburn's up there. How could Milburn get to 81? There's Gizzy, Ringo, Heron, and Cantrell will develop. Tight end, we got Garrison way down there. Left tackle, we got higher first or redshirt sophomore. Look at all these redshirt sophomores we have. We gotta figure that out. Newsom, but Ollie's a senior. Sweet. So we can move, Duck or Sweet, I think. Oh, we got all starting seniors? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Left guard. Anybody built for tackle? Can move Duck to tackle. Yeah. Right tackle. Okay. No, he's a flat though. Darling and Carter. Let's move Carter to left guard. These are stacked at the offensive line, but they're all, they'll be juniors, I guess, by the time I start. Historic Lambo will be cut. There's Cookis, Chicolo. Busby's there. That looks good. D-tackle, so Bavaro. Laporte and Small need to take a big jump. Sanders is going to be cut, so we got 4 D-tackles. Cookis, does he go to D-tackle? Yes. There we go. And that frees up Chicolo to play, or Tap. Let's put Tap at left. Okay, that suits him better. So Tap will play. Oh, that looks good. We got D-tackle, we have Bavaro and Cookis. Cookis is 282. Yeah, okay. Outside linebacker, Graham and Young. Where Shermer's going to take a jump. Boom, boom. Brewer's here. Goda and Emmanuel, I think, are both leaving. Jasmine Grimes is here. Dingle and Bowenko. Bowenko go to left. Corner, we got True Blood. Apple, these guys train in the season. They get points. Apple, Gee, Tut, Denson. I guess maybe should have had Denton made. Hernandez, good. Sparks, Economos. Mandarino is there too. Shoot. Wilkins, where can you go? I think he's got to stay here now. Because if he takes it, he's a star dev. He can overtake Newcomb. Kicker, punter. There we go. All right, feel good about that. Let's move on. All right, that'll do it for this episode. We're going to jump into training results. In the next one, really excited to see how these guys develop. We got a lot of our first recruiting class, hitting their third season with us. And I think we're going to start seeing some big results here. So thanks for tuning in. This offseason, again, is my favorite part of the game. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed diving in. I know that transfer portal got a little long, or maybe I edited it down. And you guys don't experience how long it was, but I really enjoyed diving in, trying to find the perfect recruits, who fits, who we can get, and I'm looking forward to seeing how our guys train, how they develop. I think we got a really good roster heading into season 4. So make sure you tune into the next one, and until then, keep gaming, keep growing, and keep celebrating those obscure victories. Game on.